Welcome, bienvenue, willkommen y bienvenidos a la tercera temporada de Párate y Destacate. Yo soy tu anfitriona, Nikki Green. Welcome back to Season 3 of Stand Up and Stand Out. I'm your host, Nikki Green, and we are kicking off an amazing new season filled with some incredible guests. Stand Up and Stand Out is a podcast for those leaving university and heading into the work world. We help those in transition find their purpose so they can enjoy their career without sacrificing their lives. Following nearly 2 decades working in Fortune 500 companies, I want to share my leadership learnings with all of you. Thought leaders are needed in all walks of life, not just business. And we're in a critical time to pivot ourselves and the community around us to build a better future together. This show is the start of your Beyond College journey to help you answer the question, I graduated, now what? Let's get ready to listen in to the next episode. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Stand Up and Stand Out. We have another great show for you guys today. Jeff Klein has joined us. Here's a quick bio on Jeff before we get started. So from elevator pitch to keynote speeches, Jeff Klein gives people to the right words for each situation. As a speaker and trainer, he has received rave reviews, speaking over 800 times, reaching tens of thousands of business professionals. He is the author of 30 Seconds to Success, Generating Referrals with Your Elevator Pitch, and the upcoming Speaking as a Business Strategy, 9 Laws to Business Speaking Success. Following successful careers in advertising, marketing, and production, Jeff's individual and group programs assist professionals who are responsible for generating revenue to create more opportunities to sell. His experience includes representing the Texas Rangers Baseball Club and Dallas Stars hockey production teams, the studios at Las Colinas, and the Texas Association of Media Motion Professionals. He founded Speaker Co-op in 2006 and has attracted over 6,000 members to the cooperative business community of people who speak for business and as a profession. He continues to speak to trade associations, sales organizations, national conventions, and business groups. And with all that, he still had time to stop by and say hi to us. Thanks so much for joining us, Jeff.
Thanks, Vicky. I'm glad to be here. We talked a little bit, you and I, about who's listening, and you were telling me it's folks that are getting ready to really be in the workforce or have careers.
Exactly. And right now, a lot of those folks are having a transition that's even more difficult than usual because they're stuck at home. So they're trying to figure out how do they get out of their shells and make more impact through mostly video and phone conversations.
Well, and there sure is a difference between speaking on Zoom and speaking in person. That's for sure. And the from everything from the elevator pitch, it needs to be a little different to if you're a speaker and you're trying to, tell an audience about what you're doing and what they need to know. You have to behave a little bit differently than if you're just in live, if you're standing in the same room as people. But they don't want to, nobody wants us breathing the same air right now, I guess. So we're kind of stuck to doing a lot of this Zoom talking. And of course, podcasting will be here either way, but it's this stuck in your own space.
It really changes it, right? Because if you're standing across from someone, you're generally eye to eye, right? And it's easy to make eye contact and to know that they're looking at you too. Whereas if someone's looking up your nose and you think you're looking at them in the eye, it doesn't quite make the same connection.
Yeah, so get a friend, find a buddy, get a friend to do practice Zooms just to see what's happening behind you. And I personally have make sure that my personality comes out with my background. I mean, yeah, there's a big knife back there, and it doesn't mean that I'm a hunter or anything. That was actually one of my favorite thank you gifts from a speaking engagement. There's a financial group here in Dallas that gives out that knife to their speakers, and on the plaque, they give it to you on the plaque. So, and it's not too sharp. But it is a full Bowie knife from Jim Bowie, the Alamo guy, and and I've got my something from New Orleans because I went to LSU, and I've got Wishbone the dog and a couple other fun things because my theme is fun. And so I wanted to make sure there was a little bit of fun in my background. And then, of course, on the work side, all these books are written by people I know or haven't or
cool.
met. These are business books that I've had autographed by the author. Uh, some of them were clients, some of them were speakers I met elsewhere. There's a couple of CDs up there that people put out as well. So everything's got and sometimes I've been interviewed and people ask about stuff. What's with the knife?
Yeah,
And then I'm a very sad Dallas Cowboys fan because they're at home for the winter.
Yeah, Bears aren't going to the Super Bowl either, so
Not even close.
absolutely. Well, and that tells us a little bit about your speaker journey, but why don't you take us a little bit back? Because, right now people maybe have started in one, degree. Maybe they're not sure they even want to go do that. But the thing I like is sharing people's journey is sort of why they got into the career they're in now, how that kind of came about. So anything you can kind of share about your journey from then until now will be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sometimes I say my career is a series of fortunate accidents. That's how I got into speaking for the most part is unintentionally. But I came out of school and worked in the movie business. I have a theater degree and went to work on movies and TV shows based here in Dallas. So that's where Wishbone the Dog comes in. We produced that show here in Dallas. I did worked on the JFK movie, worked on Born on the 4th of July, and then a whole bunch of things you've never seen, uh, and a whole bunch of TV commercials that you have seen. Like we did, I was for like 5 years in a row. I did TV commercials that aired during the Super Bowl. And part of that was because Dallas was in a bunch of the Super Bowls. So one or two of them had Cowboys in them, but so we let, I got lucky on that front. Some people still remember there was a commercial where the Jimmy Johnson and 5 Cowboys are riding in a Cadillac with horns on the front down dirt roads, picking each other up along the way. I worked on that commercial and that was a lot of fun. And a lot of people remember that. They're going, we're going to the Super Bowl. And then Jerry Jones is hitchhiking at the end of the commercial as they drive past
Too
to go
funny.
to Atlanta for the Super Bowl. So that was a fun one. And then I got in. I learned about association management because I was volunteering for our association for the film people, and I wound up working at the office after being on a volunteer and then a board member. I wound up being the staff and did that for a few years. And that's association management is something people don't necessarily know about, but it can be real rewarding and real fascinating because there's an association for every profession. And the association's job is to train people, is to lobby, make sure there's no laws that hurt the industry and things like that. So I got to lobby in Austin for the Texas film industry for a few years as part of what I did. And that was a lot of fun too. One of the funny things is that I wound up later on teaching business networking. And the truth is, Nikki, I was networking way before I knew it had a name. So when I first started in the film business, well, and when I first started in the film business, everybody on set, nobody left a job without one of my business cards. And it got to be a joke because they go, "Oh, I have 2 of your cards here in my wallet, Jeff. What am I supposed to do with them?" And I said, "One of these days, somebody's going to say, we need help. And you're going to say, I got this guy you should call." And so that's networking, right? Getting other people to refer you. And so, and it was a joke around Dallas that everybody had a copy of Jeff Klein's business card who was in the business. And so I was able to, I had a real career. Yeah, real career for 15 or 20 years because I was networking naturally. And then later on, I was like, oh, I was doing something I'm now teaching other people how to do. And yeah, and then, I came out of the association and production and working for the sports teams, which was a lot of fun doing production for hockey and baseball. And then worked at a film studio as this director of marketing and PR. And that was the PR got added at the last minute. He goes, "Hey, do you mind including PR in what you do?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." 2 days later, I had a reporter in my office doing a negative news story about my boss and his business. And it was like, whoa, I still have the news story. Yeah. It was like a baptism of fire. It's like, can you tell me about the so and so? Well, I've only been here 2 weeks, dude. I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm sure he really didn't mean to lie. So, yeah, exactly. It was the right time. And now I'm actually friends with that guy through other channels. We're both speakers now. So that was pretty. And here's the funny thing, Nikki. I didn't realize. I remember the event. You know, completely. I remember him coming in and asking all these difficult questions, and me doing a little two-step and all that, doing some dancing. But I didn't remember who it was. And then going through some paperwork last time I moved a few years ago, I found the article that I kept from the Dallas newspaper, and there was the name of a guy who I became friends with. So next time I still haven't told. Next time I see him, I need to remind him how we met originally, as opposed to at the Speakers Association. Yeah, yeah. Do you remember the the story about? So that was always fun. And one thing I did when I was at the Film Association, Nikki, I did a lot of career days about being in the movie business, and I everything from elementary school to high school, and you have to talk differently to each audience, obviously. And people wanted exciting stories about Emmett Smith or Tom Cruise or Shaq, and all of whom I have good stories to tell about. But I also had to tell them that it's not glamorous. My first job was sweeping the floor. So if you want to get into the movie business to be a star, don't. If you want to work hard and be creative, and then that's good. That's a good reason to be in it. Not to don't do anything if you want to be famous. You can get famous within your niche, but famous is your goal. That might not be the right goal. And then I started my business that I started in 2001 was an advertising agency, Klein Creative. And because I did video and I did websites, and I wanted to help businesses get on TV and things like that. And of course, I wound up doing a lot more websites than I did TV. But that's how it works. And I took some classes. I learned Flash, which really dates me. That's 2001, 2002. I'm sure some of our listeners were like, watching Sesame Street in 2001, 2002, if they were born at all, right? But that's okay. Um, but I wound up joining an organization called CEO Space, and it's an entrepreneurs club still around today. And they were teaching the elevator pitch, how to introduce yourself in 30 seconds and get something out of the introduction. Because and I to this day I still teach the elevator pitch in workshops, in 2-hour workshops. And because we still need it, you have to be able to stand up and in 30 seconds tell people what you do and who you want to meet. There's more than one elevator pitch. So there's the elevator pitch that I'm talking about now, which is the formal 30 seconds that you use at a chamber or a networking group or something like that. Then there's the elevator pitch that's actually in an elevator. So the first one, the results you want are an introduction to somebody to talk about your business with. The second one, when you're actually in the elevator, your job is to get the business card of the person you're talking to so you can follow up with them later. And then people also do elevator pitches to fundraise. for innovation, for new inventions and stuff like that. And the purpose there, of course, is to get introduced to people who might be investors for your invention. So and that's the one where they have contests. Usually, there'll be an elevator pitch contest for fundraising, for raising capital or what have you. But I teach the first one.
Ah, perfect. Yeah, I was just trying to think of what the equivalent of a business card is for today, because since again we're not in person anymore, like how do you give people like virtual business cards, right? Well, we'll always need some way to know about each other. I know some of the conferences that when we had in-person conferences, they were really starting to up the technology so that you could have a badge, there were apps, right? So you could very quickly network. But that's just the initial connection. You still need that elevator pitch. You still need that, very quick thing of what am I trying to tell you and how can you best help me and how best can I help you, right?
Liquidless laundry detergent? As you know, plastic is a huge problem. Only 9% get recycled. Even if you put your jug in a bin, 25% gets declined from cross-contamination. If plastic does get recycled, it can only be reused twice. The facts don't lie. It's time to stop using plastic. Did you know that liquid detergent is up to 90% water? Earthbreeze created dehydrated detergent. Our Eco Sheets easily dissolve in hot or cold water with the same powerful clean you're used to. Our packaging is biodegradable cardboard and ink. Eco-friendly options are usually expensive. Eco Sheets are affordable. That way, everyone can make a difference. Laundry detergent is one of the most requested items at homeless shelters. With every package, we donate 10 loads of detergent. You get to choose who you donate to. We also donate a portion of our revenue to the planet. There is no reason not to switch. Subscribe and receive it exactly when you need it. No contracts, cancel anytime. We even offset all of our carbon emissions. This means your deliveries are carbon neutral. You can stay safe and order right from your home. Eco Sheets are vegan and cruelty-free, dye-free, paraben-free, and a fragrance-free option, and sensitive to the most delicate skin. There are already thousands of 5-star reviews, and we offer a satisfaction guarantee. If you have any issues, we will refund you. So why not give Eco Sheets a try? Click below or visit earthbreeze.com.
What are you waiting for? Why haven't you ordered?
Click below to try.
Well, I know you've done so many amazing things over your career. What makes you unique? What makes you stand out from other people that, may be doing something similar, but what's your ideal way of doing things that you can grab people?
I got a big knife. That's
Yeah, that's definitely true.
No. What I think really, Nikki, what sets me apart is I've always been focused on serving my clients to help them reach their goals and not and revenue goals, because a lot of people aren't focused enough on getting revenue results. It doesn't matter how many people you know or how many people know you or how many friends you have on Facebook if you can't pay the rent. And I've always been able to kind of like, how do we make money at that? What's the bottom line for you? And that actually CEO Space helped me with some of that, because people would come in with ideas and the question is, where's the business with that idea? If you watch Shark Tank, sometimes somebody will come in and the sharks will say, well, you got a product, but you don't have a business. And I've been really blessed to meet people that help me be able to speak that kind of language and help people along those lines. I help experts. Part of what I do is help experts figure out what to sell on the way to selling what they really want.
Yeah, I think that's really important, because that's a journey too, right? Is that, you may have this ideal of where you want to get to and what your passion is driving you towards. But if you want to do that as something for a living, you can't just jump into that maybe day one. You have to start with some incremental steps that are going to, one, build up the business itself, right? And sell you as the person running the business and build towards that. And so there's incremental pieces that you need to do to make sure it is a solid business plan before it's just an amazing idea, right?
Yeah. Like let's say somebody wanted to start a social media business, and there's plenty of room for more businesses that help people grow on social media. But what do your clients really need? They don't need more friends on social media. They need results from the friends on social media, right? So, if you're
Right.
thinking of it in the right direction. And then how do you get a company to hire you? Well, you have to show them, what you've got. You can't say I'm a social media expert and have 52 friends on Facebook.
No.
And I've met those people. I've met people who came and who said, had all and they had good tools but they didn't have any credibility because they didn't have they had not built a following to try to grow before they said I'm an expert and hire me.
Right. Yeah. And building that credibility is so important. And I think these days too, folks are looking for more than just, okay, you're an expert in this, but they really want to connect with you in some way. That's the social part of social media. And I think for a lot of us, we do what we do because we believe in the cause. We're standing up for something we believe in, like you said about your servant leadership of wanting to help the person. So how do you use your superpowers for good to really change people's lives? And what in your life made you head down that path?
Well, I was raised by social workers. My dad worked for nonprofits my whole life. And my mom helped until she actually wound up working for the government for most of my life as well. So, I was raised by people who were serving. And it's an important part of my culture about being a Jewish professional and making the world a better place is what we're taught to do. And so it was in my blood to help people. And then I just had to figure out how to help them so I could make a living at it. And that came with things like, the CEO space education, the people I've had who have been willing to mentor me. Finding mentors is so important, and the right people along the way that helped me, so I was able to help other people. I always make sure that whatever I'm doing, I have a cause along the way. So for like my cause the last couple of years has been the Anti-Defamation League, which teaches tolerance, which God knows we need more of that these days. And so I'm able, when I give up time or get money to groups that teach tolerance, and then go out and live. You can't support a group like that and then not be tolerant yourself. You have to have some integrity to be consistent. And so I'm willing to work with all kinds of people. 99% of the population I'm willing to help. It's the 1% are people who wish other people harm. I'm not going to help you with that. But everybody who has good intentions, I'm willing to help. And whether it's help you get people, help you get revenue, help you get volunteers, help you get customers, that's everything I do is wrapped up in that it's all of, let's help you get what you need next.
Oh, that's awesome. It's been an absolute joy meeting you, Jeff, and hearing about your story and how you're helping people. We're building out a mentor network through all of the wonderful people we're meeting here through the podcast to continue helping people on their journey. So why don't you, before we sign off here, give everyone a little taste of where to find you, what's up next, and we'll be sure to put all of the details in the show notes.
You bet. So speakercoop.com is our speaker website to find help with any kind of speaking. Our networking website is jeffkleinspeaker.com. And if you would like information on some free networking education, jeffkleinspeaker.com/education, and you'll find some free downloads, including a recording for people who are looking for a job to do an elevator pitch for finding a new career. That's a free recording on there, as well as some other tools for networking.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you, Jeff. I'm so excited, and I can't wait for everyone to see this episode. It's been really amazing getting to know you, and I know you and I are going to be fast friends, and we're going to spend a lot of time networking together in the future.
I agree.
Well, thanks, everybody. This has been Stand Up and Stand Out. Adios a todos. Este es Parte y Sé Destacado, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks, guys.
Well, another awesome show in the books. I hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed making it. For video outtakes of the show, don't forget to catch us on TikTok You Don't Stop at Nikki Green 678. The full-length shows are available on all the podcast platforms now, including Amazon Music, Stitcher, and Good Pods. The full video is available on Nikki's YouTube channel, and links to all of our social media, including info about our guests, is available in our show notes. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week. Bye.